After I paid off the last of the smaller debts, I didn't slow down. I sped up. I started checking my net worth multiple times a day. I booked trips 8 months out at non-refundable rates and panicked when plans changed. I filled every free hour with something supposed to get me to the finish line faster. I wasn't building, I was grinding. And I was doing it out of impatience, not strategy. Urgency without a system is just exhaustion with a sense of purpose. Here's the lie hustle culture tells you. If you want financial freedom badly enough, you'll work hard enough to earn it. More hours, more side hustles, more output, more intensity. Want it enough, work hard enough, and eventually it pays off. It's not entirely wrong. Effort matters. Income matters. But the formula is dangerously incomplete because it locates the engine of progress entirely inside you. Your energy, your discipline, your willpower, your grind. And here's the problem with that. You are not a machine. You have a finite amount of energy per day. Your discipline degrades under stress. Your willpower, contrary to what every motivational poster implies, is not an unlimited resource. It depletes. It recovers slowly. And when life gets hard, which it will, the whole system that depends on your constant effort starts to break down. People don't fail at financial independence because they're lazy. Most people who struggle with money are working incredibly hard. 2 jobs, side hustles, sacrificed evenings and weekends, exhausted, and still not getting ahead because effort without structure doesn't compound. It just accumulates into burnout. The problem isn't that you're not working hard enough. It's that you're working hard inside a system that wasn't designed to give you freedom. Hustle as strategy has 5 hidden costs that don't show up on the spreadsheet, but show up everywhere else. 1. It's reactive. When hustle is the strategy, you're always responding to urgency instead of executing on intention. Busy and effective are not the same thing. 2. It consumes your best energy. Hustle runs on the same fuel as your relationships, your health, your creativity, your parenting, your thinking. Every hour of unsustainable intensity is borrowed from something that matters. 3. It creates dependency. If the only thing moving your financial life forward is you pushing it manually, then the moment you stop pushing, illness, grief, burnout, a season where life demands your full attention, everything stops. 4. It produces inconsistency. Hustle creates peaks and valleys, intense bursts followed by crashes. The net result over years is far less than the consistent, automated progress of a well-designed system. 5. It blinds you to what actually works. The better opportunity, the simpler system, the obvious optimization. These require a kind of reflective clarity that hustle actively prevents. The conclusion is uncomfortable. If the success of your financial life depends entirely on you hustling, you are not building freedom. You are building a more elaborate version of the cage. I grow habanero peppers, not because I'm a serious gardener, because they're low maintenance. I plant them, the sun and rain do most of the work, I prune occasionally and protect them from aphids when needed, and they produce. I don't hover over them. I don't check on them 3 times a day. In fact, when I do interfere unnecessarily, when I overwater out of impatience or move them around trying to optimize their sun exposure, I actually slow down what the plant would have done fine on its own. Investing works the same way. Some of my best investment returns have come from accounts I nearly forgot about. 401ks that sat untouched for years. Positions I held through volatility because I wasn't watching closely enough to panic and sell. The consistent, hands-off approach produced more than the active monitoring ever did. Because the monitoring introduced my emotions into the process. And my emotions, however well-intentioned, are not good investment managers. Feed it. Let it grow. Intervene only when something is genuinely wrong. I also run, not for races anymore, mostly to decompress, get outside, and work through audiobooks while my body does something useful. And when I run, one thing consistently pulls my attention. Trash on the ground. A cup here, a wrapper there. Small things that don't seem to matter until they pile up, and suddenly the park feels completely different. Spending is like trash. When it's managed properly, put in the right buckets, categorized correctly, directed where it should go, it's not a problem. But when spending gets out of alignment with income, it accumulates. The budget category overflows. The savings account quietly deflates. The credit card balance inches up. None of it feels dramatic in the moment, but pile it up over months without attention, and the landscape changes. The insight is this: investing and spending require completely different relationships. Investing rewards stepping back. Spending rewards staying present. Knowing which is the beginning of financial systems thinking. 3 systems matter in this order. System 1, the spending system. Don't call it a budget. Call it containers. Every dollar that comes in gets directed into a container. Giving, living, saving, repaying. Track every expense for 1 full month. That gives you your real baseline. Then build the system around what you actually spend. Automate the non-negotiables. Bills on autopay, minimum debt payments on autopay, savings transfer on payday before discretionary spending can absorb it. Review weekly, not daily. Daily leads to the net worth checking spiral I just described. Weekly is enough to catch drift before it becomes damage. System 2, the savings system. Mine has a name, the multiverse account. I'm a Marvel fan, so the name is on purpose. The multiverse is every possible version of what could happen. The car needing brakes and tires the same month, the appliance that fails out of warranty, the medical bill insurance didn't cover, the flight home for a family emergency, the opportunity that needs capital you didn't have last week. None of these are individually predictable. All of them are statistically likely across a long enough timeline. The account is the prepay for the multiverse. And because not every parallel scenario manifests in any given year, the account accumulates a surplus by default. The universes that didn't happen become next year's savings foundation. System 3, the investment system. This is the seed system. Plant and step back. Automate first. Consistent, regular contributions outperform almost every other strategy over long time horizons. Fund tax-advantaged accounts first. 401k to the employer match at minimum, then IRA, then HSA, then taxable. Inside those accounts, simple index funds have a 40-year track record of outperforming the majority of actively managed alternatives. Not because they're brilliant, because they're consistent, low cost, and don't require you to make decisions about them. 3 systems. None of them require you to hustle. All of them require you to return, because every system will, at some point, fall off. A month where the savings automation had to pause. A quarter where the categories overflowed. The difference between people who build wealth and people who don't isn't that wealth builders never fall off. It's that they return. One last discipline that ties all 3 together: the urgency audit. Once a week, look at the things you're treating as urgent. Ask one honest question of each item. Will I still reach my goal if I don't do this now? If the answer is no, it stays on the list. If yes, ask why you're trying to do it now instead of later. Most of the urgent things consuming your free time are not urgent at all. They're anxiety wearing productivity's clothing. Strip the false urgency. Protect your energy. Trust the system. Protect the present, because the people you're building this for are living their lives right now while you're trying to catch up to a finish line that will still be there next month. My daughter is growing up during these 4 years. Her childhood does not wait. That's the deepest argument for systems over hustle. Systems create time. Hustle consumes it. If this resonated, the full system breakdown, the spending containers, the multiverse account setup, the investment automation hierarchy, is in Chapter 5 of The Unrestricted Life. The first chapter is free at theunrestrictedlife.com/chapter if you want to start there. Subscribe if you want one of these every Monday. Each episode pairs with a chapter, and we're walking through all 5 pillars of an unrestricted life: identity, wealth, the ladder, systems. Next Monday, health. The one thing that determines whether the freedom you build is actually usable. I'll see you then.